Hey everybody, today I'm going to walk you through my priming and my concealing steps of when I apply foundation. Basically, my first step in applying any kind of primer or concealer is washing my skin. So I will usually wash my face with my Clinique foam cleanser, and then I will tone my face with the liquid exfoliator from Clinique. I've already done all of that. So actually applying stuff to my face. The first thing I do is I will moisturize my face. So I will use any moisturizer from Garnier to Clinique to, any moisturizers I will get in a box, such as this Tucker Ashley one I use, or the Photo Hydra Day one. Basically, use whatever moisturizer works for your skin. I typically will just use whatever I have available and whatever works for me, or any kind of samples that I'm trying out. So today, I am just going to use this Tucker Ashley one. It says Perfecting Moisturizer. I don't know, it's probably expensive, I don't know. I got it in a box and just rub it in. I don't have too many skin problems right now to show you how I conceal things, but for whatever reason I have a lot of little red marks on my face, like this one, this one, and now obviously you would think that they're pimples, but they're not actually, they're scabs. I've been very stressed out for reasons undisclosed. I am a person that picks at their scalp when they get anxious. I've done it since I was a little kid, and that has recently moved to my face now, where I actually made these scabs on my face, and they were once pimples that healed over. So these aren't pimples, they're scabs. This is a pimple, this is a pimple, and this is a pimple, but that's really it. So I don't have too many things to show you really. I don't do many primers or many concealers, but somebody asked and I figured I would do this little video for you. So always I will begin with my color correcting. I personally use L'Oreal's Magic Anti-Redness Correcting Primer. I really like this one. It's pretty cheap, it's really thin, so it definitely conceals, and it's buildable. So if you have a really red mark, which I probably will have to do with this one and this one, they're very irritated and red. I've been using this little Smashbox sample of their primer oil. So this is when I would normally pour a little bit of it onto this, but I'm not going to today. So I'm not going to use this primer oil today because I have to kind of come to terms with how I'm going to get along without it, because it's $42 the full size and that's so unrealistic, and I kind of have to search for something that is similar. I think I might try Maybelline's Baby Skin. Maybelline's Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I'm just going to go on the side of it like that. Oh, I dropped the cap. I'm just going to mix them. Now, usually the oil thins this color corrector a lot, and it makes it easily blendable. This thickened this up, so we'll see how it applies. So usually what I do is I will just tap this color corrector on any red spots I have or anywhere that needs to be color corrected. And I basically just tap this any red areas. I always use my middle finger and it looks like I'm giving you the middle finger. I'm not. I'll put this on anything that I feel uncomfortable showing, Sometimes I will rub it in and sometimes I will tap it. It kind of depends on how bad the pimples are. Sometimes I will rub it in on one that's really bad, like this one, and then tap it on top again and then smooth out the edges. And I'll also color correct some parts of my cheeks, any scarring that's really bad. And what's good too is this acts as a primer. So you know, sometimes that's better because then you don't have to pile on so much on your skin. My face looks very green now, but I'll try to get a still of the intro of this video to show you the before and after of how this actually does block the redness, because you can still see that it's red and, you know, there's still a certain amount peeking through. It almost gives like a filter that can't be broken through, if that makes sense. Like, the redness can't break through the filter of the green. So depending on the color correcting that you need, some people need a lavender colored color corrector, some people need green like me, some people need yellow, some people need peach, you know. It all depends on your problems that you want to get color corrected or hide and conceal with color correcting. So before I start putting on foundation, I have to conceal when things are very, very bad like this. Like, I would say that my skin today needs to be concealed. Usually I won't, but my skin today definitely needs to be concealed. My under eyes aren't so bad today, but I'll just conceal them anyway to kind of show you what I do. So as far as concealers go, I've never truly had much luck with concealers because some are really, really thick and so they look cakey, or they crease very easily because I have a lot of creases and I smile a lot. I'm very expressive, so it always soaks in under my under eyes, and especially like any folds I have in my skin, any wrinkles, anything, it will settle. Sometimes I will need concealing like around my mouth because I have like discoloration in the corners of my mouth and it'll look cakey there, or it'll grab onto like the peach fuzz I have around my mouth. Or the worst part is when the concealer is so thin that it doesn't conceal anything, it doesn't have any coverage. So I've tried a lot of concealers and the only one that I've found that matches me almost perfectly and that helps and doesn't crease as easily and isn't super thick is It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. Now, I bought this at a time where they were selling the duo. They might still be. The cool thing about this is you take it out and it is a little doe foot. And what I do with this is I tap it anywhere that needs concealed. Now, I won't tap it all over my face, I'll just tap it in specific, very specific areas. Like this one needs a lot. I don't think I have anything on my forehead too bad. Conceal this. And then what I do with my under eyes is I will use my hydrating under eye primer from e.l.f. and I'll blend this in under my eyes and above my eyes. I do that anyway. So I just rub it on, up top and the bottom. And this primes your under eyes and hydrates them. And then I will take my concealer again and basically just do a little triangle with like a dot inside. Well, that's a big smear, isn't it? Then I'll put it here as well. Okay. So this is how I conceal. By the way, I'm in the shade Light for Bye Bye Under Eye. And as far as blending this out, I use my fingers because I feel like it blends better. I always let it sit for like a minute or like 45 seconds to a minute because it gets super tacky and I feel like that gives better coverage. How I blend is I just tap the concealer over and over again, blending it out and blending it into my skin until you can't tell if there's any product there. Now, you could use a brush, you could use a sponge. I just like using my fingers because I feel like it blends the concealer into my skin better. Okay, so it's all blended out. I know I look crazy. You know, I have like red splotches and everything. I know I look crazy, but very quickly. While this is setting, I'm going to take my powder brush and my translucent powder. Sometimes I use e.l.f., sometimes I use my Too Faced one. Use whatever translucent powder you have. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to tap under my eyes, my under eyes, so that this doesn't crease. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to tap in the corners of my nose, like where my nose meets my cheek. And then anywhere where I put concealer on my pimples, I'm going to tap. As far as like my bare skin that happens to have concealer on it, like here, you know, like I'm not going to tap that because that's not as important as like concealing my pimples is. So that is pretty powdered. So this is my concealer. So I'm going to move. Obviously, like here, you can still see it a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to try to cover it with foundation. Okay, so then as far as putting my foundation on, I just do what I always do, which is taking my foundation. Today I'm using my L'Oreal Lumi cushion because this is my favorite right now. And I'm just going to take this and use my foundation brush and just start patting it on. Now I always do once my foundation is applied is I will go around any weird places on my face that usually creases my makeup or where the makeup settles, like around my mouth, in my little side area here, under my eyes, like where my under eyes meet the foundation, so like here. And I just do like extra damage control, you know, I just do like extra blending there. And then, once again, I will take my powder, tap off, and then just very gently set everything one more time, now that my foundation's applied. Now this is a lot of powdering. If you have normal to dry skin, you won't have to powder as much as I am, but I have very oily skin, so I definitely have to powder a lot. So, you know, if you've dry to normal skin, don't powder like this. You probably won't have to. Okay, so this is the finished face makeup that I always do if I'm using concealer. Once again, I used the L'Oreal Magic Anti-Redness Correcting Primer and only a little bit of the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. Then I used Bye Bye Undereye It Cosmetics Concealer. I powdered it, and then I used my L'Oreal Lumi Cushion. And then I powdered it again. Like I said, you won't have to powder if you have normal to dry skin. But that is what I use on my skin when my skin is having a rough time. Let me bring you closer. I have a pimple here. I didn't even notice. Look at that. Now, I almost never really put too much makeup on my forehead because of my bangs. So I usually just cover this anyway. And then I guess the only real step that I didn't tell you about is setting my face. And that I use the NYX Matte Finish spray, so I just like lift this up and so that is my foundation routine when I'm using concealer and color correcting. As you can see, it definitely toned down a lot of what I have going on right now. I'll list all of these products down below. Obviously, I don't have bronzer or blush or highlighter on right now. I just did the basic stuff. So I hope this helped a little bit. If you have any more questions, if you need any more help with this, please do not hesitate. Feel free to ask me. I will either comment back or make a video about it, depending on which you would prefer. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped. I hope you are having an awesome day. I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.